here we go. Older, wiser, and probably, if it's possible, a little better than their 2008 selves. And if you've seen any of the footage from that great match, you'll know that they look like boys then, that they look like men now.
Play. 50.
Well, he lost the last point they played here, so that'll be a relief for him.
For me, that's the serve we've got to look out for in the juice box. You see where Nadal's positioning is. He's a long way back. That really does open up the angles for Federer to serve out wide, even serve and volley.
Not by much.
40-30.
Rafa Nadal first #1 after the 2008 final. Real changing of the guard, that match. Back in 2008, Roger Federer first at the top of the game as #1 in 2004. 10-3 Nadal in Grand Slams. That's more domination than you might imagine. 6 of them were at the French Open. The only time Federer has ever beaten Nadal at a Grand Slam. Outside of Wimbledon, the Australian Open, 2017.
Rafael Nadal to serve.
I think that's another important fact today is how well can Federer handle the Nadal serve, how quickly he gets into the points, especially on Nadal's second serve, because that's where he has to take advantage if he wants to stand a chance.
Led for service.
It's a bit quiet in here. Whole centre court's a bit hushed.
Rain on.
30 love. Love. One game more for sets.
Just the first probings in this match.
It's their 5th ever match in a Grand Slam semi-final. Nadal won the 4.
So that's the tactic we're talking about. Nadal a long way back, Federer able to get in tight. If Federer continues to do that, it'll be interesting to see whether Nadal changes his return position.
More speed on the Federer ground strokes. Very familiar faces by now in his box.
Love. Game. Federer leads by 2 games to 1 in first set.
Just the 7 minutes played here. Both these players have a losing record against the man who waits them in the final. There'll be no thoughts of what's coming on Sunday. No particular fatigue for any of these players so far. Djokovic will probably want some titanic 5-setter that will virtually disable these two in terms of their effectiveness for the final. That's happened before. It happened when Novak and Rafa played a beautiful match. At this point last year, Anderson and Isner had played each other to a standstill. None of that this year. Boris, they've been dominant, haven't they? These three, once again, it's been amazing.
Yeah, it's wonderful to see that these great legends, goats of the game, find a way to push each other, stay the course, get better with every year, it seems like. The next generation, whoever's behind them, doesn't seem to close the gap.
Time.
Did you just call them goats?
3 of them.
What's that?
The greatest of all time. It's not an animal, it's just the highest title in any sport.
Couple of goats going head to head. I like that. No breaks. It's 1-2.
Seats quickly, please, ladies and gentlemen.
People just coming back in after the first semi-final. Had half an hour off.
They didn't have that before, Tim, right? This is new this year, or they've had it last year already, the gap between first and semi-final?
Yeah, a little bit more precise, I think, now.
Let's for service.
Well, certainly in the query match with Nadal, he was very anxious to know the exact timings, and 4 o'clock seemed like a good cut-off for the handshake of the previous match.
It's also a lot of build-up for both players, so mentally they need to be stimulated. It's a long wait. It's a long 48 hours since they played last time, so their engine can't be yet at 100%. Federer almost slipped away, but was able to manage and keep his balance.
15 all.
Hitting a beautiful short backhand slice.
Stopped on the line, didn't it, as well? I think I might be able to see the mark over there. It's a shame that the ball stops when it hits the lines.
Let's first service.
Coach Francisco Roig has been talking about Rafa Nadal and how he's been playing with precision, with intensity and fluidity, but also how he changes his stance on serve according to the surface, just tiny alterations, specifically for grass court play. That's precise.
14-15.
Give Nadal a short one on the forehand. And he says, thank you.
40-30. Game Nadal.
His dad, Sebastian. Roger's dad here as well. Must be a gift to be able to take your practice improvements right out onto the court. Mentioned before, Tim, both these players improved.
Without doubt. You have to.
15 love.
It's the serve you mentioned, the short wide one. See how many free points he gets before Nadal changes his position.
Both players being very efficient early on their service games, only giving up a couple of points each. Both doing a good job of dominating the points.
Let's for service. Love.
that's the shot Nadal improved the most, that quick backhand now, cross court.
Federer leads by 3-2 first set.
Fascinating quarter of an hour, just the opening salvo in this second semi-final at Wimbledon. Roger Federer has certainly added to his game over the years, but so has Rafa Nadal. Boris Becker has just mentioned how his backhand has increased in its potency over the years, but certainly his serve has as well, Tim and Boris. Have a quick look at this. I mean, it's got a few bits and bobs on it, but it's the Nadal serve alteration. Francisco Roy, coach, talking about this. Now, last year is in the red, and those trails really just an illustration. So in the red on the right, in the top right, so at the hit point it was slower. This is during the whole tournament. Pre-bounce slower, post-bounce obviously slower, and at the returner significantly slower. So whatever he's done, Tim, he's quickened it up. I can't speak for the accuracy, but Nadal's serve has certainly looked more effective.
Yeah, definitely. I think when you mentioned Francisco Roy talking about how he positions his feet, I think you know, now he's actually hitting the serve a little bit flatter. On some of the other surfaces, you feel like he's coming around the side of the ball to create that spin, a little bit more curve on the ball. But this one, as you see by that flight on Hawkeye, much flatter, going through the court a little bit quicker, and in percentage terms, by the time it's getting to the returner, it's probably 20–25% faster.
It is. Thank you.
Thank you.
Something that we'll continue to watch. The Nadal serve now at 2-3.
Yeah, it's the first serve that does the damage. Roger doesn't really get into the return games at all.
Game Nadal. Three games all, first set.
One thing you can never really measure, but you can feel, and the whole tournament has, and these champions that I'm sure in the commentary books have understood and perceived, is confidence. And he's had it. There's been a presence around Nadal during this tournament. He's won 17 straight matches across the Italian Open in Rome, and also in Paris at the French Open, where he just won his 12th French. So Nadal in supreme form.
You talk about confidence. I think there's a confidence in Rafa's game, but there's also confidence in his body. He had some big challenges early on in the year, but feeling in very good shape.
In fact, on Nadal's way winning his 12th, he beat Federer in the semi-final. In straight sets.
First victory for Nadal over Federer in some 5.5 years. I mean, that will amaze people.
Hadn't beaten him since Australian Open semi-final in 2014.
by 4-3, first set.
It's a clinical start from both players. Federer's only dropped 3 points in 4 service games. Nadal only 2 points in 3 service games. Are they both going to be able to maintain that as we move towards the business end of this first set?
Statue of Fred Perry out there, always a good place to get the shot. A winner of so many major championships, 10 majors, 8 Grand Slams, 2 Pro Slams, and a brilliant table tennis player as well. This is all part of the new development. Now this camera whizzes along at about 30 miles an hour, and it's on a great big zip wire, and it gives us new shots of this wonderful centre court. And, the development around this club goes on and on. That's the members' balcony there that you can see, and 1 or 2 people from the Royal Box will pop out there, take a break, go back in. These courts on the front, they used to be so the focus of the championships, but now it's just developing into a much bigger space. Like over the road, for instance, Church Road into Wimbledon Park Golf Club. It's the next major phase of the development, so good luck with all that, Tim.
Indoor courts between now and then across on Somerset Road, they're going to be demolished fairly soon after this championship. It's probably a 18-month to 2-year project to knock those down, build 6 indoor, 6 outdoor, and a large underground car park.
They're playing with new balls, so everything's a bit quicker now. Federer had a shot after a good return. Didn't use it. There's a 25-second rule for the server. Nadal is always pushing the envelope.
Something's about to happen. I don't quite know what it is in this match.
It's been pretty cagey, hasn't it? But you'd think if Federer got a second serve here at 15-all, might like to try and take a chance.
Unfortunate with the net cord, but Federer has taken full advantage.
Didn't really do enough with the return, Federer. Was it the serve?
Yeah, I think you've got to give credit to Nadal there. Decent second serve, really dictated with his first forehand to get Federer on the defensive.
break point of this semi-final. Off the Nadal backhand error.
Looking to be very aggressive in the rally there and overhitting the backhand. Needs to find the first serve.
This is a level up, isn't it? The footwork from Rafa and Nadal, the slices from Federer. This is the dance between these two. Beautiful to watch. Nadal very keen to hit forehands. That hasn't changed in 11 years.
Federer reading the serve again well, returning well. Not taking advantage now. You will see Tony Nadal flew in last night, supporting his famous nephew.
That thing is whipped.
Three very strong points from Nadal from break point.
4 games all, first sets.
Finding the targets with the first serve and then really dictating with the forehand. Now he would like to try and get stuck into a Federer service game at 4-all.
Keeping Federer waiting. He's got a full complement of ticks and twitches at this point. Bristling for the action here.
Didn't find his timing on the returns yet.
Let's for service.
Federer really mentioned his serve picking up in the Nishikori match, which was the quarterfinal, and he really started where he left off on Wednesday evening. Look from Roger, the umpire, questioning the call, but no challenge. He does have an awful record in challenges throughout the championship.
40-13. Game. Mr. Nadal is challenging the ball on the service line.
It's a challenge, but both men are walking in the sunshine to the changeover. The
Game.
ball is
Federer.
good. Still no breaks, just the one break
leads
point.
by
Well
5 games
saved
to
by
4.
Rafa in his
First
previous service game. He will serve to
Nadal
stay
has
in
2
this
challenges remaining.
first set. Roger Federer was talking before this match, Boris, about just remembering to stay calm and how it's okay just to get the ball back and to neutralize opponents. He does that, takes the pace off as well as puts it on as well as anybody. The trouble is, if you just knock it back to Nadal, he can take control of the rally. So there's the line that he has to walk, isn't it?
No, very much so. I was really intrigued how calm he stayed when he walked on the court very much in his zone. He really didn't acknowledge the crowd too much, didn't acknowledge his opponent either. Just at the net, a bit of a handshake, and he's altogether has a very calm demeanor because he knows actually the things are heating up. But he's his best when he lets his tennis do the talking and when he doesn't get too emotional.
You coached against him with Novak Djokovic. I believe you won 6 Grand Slams with Novak when you were coaching against Roger Federer.
Tied.
It's quite a challenge, isn't it?
No, that's right. We had him in 2 Wimbledon finals, and the key was always, to get him on the run, because when he's running, he loses a bit of his balance, but that's easier said than done. And obviously find a way to return to Roger's Federer serve as well. So.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
I think the same goes for Rafael Nadal.
Love. Mr. Nadal is challenging the call on the left far sideline. The ball's got out.
First double of the match.
15-all.
Only
Mr. Nadal
11
has 1 challenge
for the
remaining.
tournament. This, the 6th match for both players, of course. No, it's not the time to be reading. Put it down. Got you this ticket.
Umpire said it was very close. Must have been long. Rafa believes him.
Nadal should have checked that. It was in.
Mr. Federer is challenging the ball on the left centre service line.
Safe to say they're both hitting it close to the lines. I think this one just caught the line from Nadal.
Game Nadal.
There's a statistic about challenges by
5 games
Roger
all,
Federer at
first
Wimbledon.
sets.
He's now including
Federer
this
has 2 challenges
3
remaining.
to 16.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You have been burying your head in books and readouts and research.
I'm prepared.
Love.
You get this far out of court on the forehand, you've got to make sure you do some damage. Federer a little bit lucky with the drive volley. Nadal not able to do more with the pass.
And another 40 love. Easy hold by the great Swiss. And that's his wife.
Federer leads by 6 games to 5. First set.
Still no breaks in the sunshine here on centre court. It's 6-5 to Roger Federer, this hugely anticipated match. Now, Roger Federer was talking about neutralising opponents, and you often do that with a slice or a chip. But the actual statistics on Federer here, the return spins that he's playing with today. Previous rounds, of course, different opponents, different setup. Rafa's not down the other end. But in the previous rounds, top spinning at 59%. Today, he's trying to come over the return. The slice today, 1 in 10, or just above 1 in 10. He's trying to come over the ball, and it's not working particularly at the moment.
Not working particularly well, but I don't think he's really had that many opportunities. Obviously, when you're playing the slice, it gives Nadal more time to get round and hit his forehand and really be aggressive.
So is he trying to avoid the Rafa forehand by hitting the return?
Well, because he'll hit it harder with the topspin. He can get it through the court, get to potentially Nadal's backhand more easily. I think the way this set's unfolding, it would be fitting if it did go to the tiebreak.
Well, hitting over also means he's more aggressive. The mindset is I have to hit over the ball and put some pressure on the opponent.
Love. Love. 40 love. 30.
Well, if they are going to go to a breaker, Federer would have rather made Nadal work a little bit, which is what he's doing here, even if the tiebreak's only postponed for a point. Another larruped forehand and we could be back at deuce. And that's what it is. Oh, this has come out of nowhere. This is now a battle for Nadal. At 40 love.
But Federer was able to hit over the return 3 times, put pressure on him right away, took advantage of the short ball.
Got the shot that he wanted.
Got the shot that he wanted, but
Advantage, Nadal.
when he was trying to hit that forehand down the line to Nadal's backhand, his body weight was just falling away.
Just keeps it calm, cool.
After 3/4 of an hour at this semi-final, it is a tie-break that will decide the set.
6 games all. First set, tiebreak.
Now, the last time they played on this court, they played 2 of the finest
players
tie-breaks of all
receive
time.
an additional challenge.
Federer won them both, 7-5 and 10-8. Tim Henman has done some extensive research.
Well, 39 matches, they've played 21 tie-breaks. Nadal up 11-10.
Let's second service.
He has not made that. That is some amazing court speed. Federer followed this in, the drop volley, beautiful.
1-0, Nadal.
Oh, dear, oh dear.
Unbelievable control at the end of the run there, and you sometimes sense that Federer thinks, God, does Nadal only make that shot against me?
You can see the shackles from both players are slowly coming off. They're freeing themselves from all the tension, all the build-up. They're letting loose.
The importance of this first set, even in a 5-setter where there is more time to recover, illustrated by the fact that the winner of the first set of their matches has won 31 out of the 39 contests.
Decent front runners.
Statistics don't lie.
2-all.
But this tiebreaker is very much nose to nose.
Nadal.
The defensive skills of Nadal, not only on the return of serve, just to float that one deep, and big forehand from Federer, and he's able to use his left-handed forehand and loop it back, asking Federer to hit one more shot.
Let's for service.
That's out on the baseline, looking for the hand from the baseline judge. And out it came, and this was a controlled volley from Federer.
3-all.
Keeping it to what is still the weaker side.
It was a good return again from Federer. It was a decent serve from Nadal. Federer was able to come over the top of the backhand, turn defence into attack and get up forward to the net.
For a second time, Federer is equalizing a mini break by the Spaniard.
Comes over that backhand return. Gets to the rack of backhand. And then this forehand.
4-3.
First time he's been ahead in the break.
Nadal likes very much the first serve and then the forehand right away. Federer is able to hit with his returns onto the Nadal backhand and sets him up nicely.
That forehand had to be played just low enough to make it difficult, and choosing to go to the Spaniard's forehand.
Couple of timely first serves there from Federer.
6-3, Federer.
Roger still very calm on the exterior, at least. Very focused.
Minutes of fascinating tennis. It's one set to the older man on the tie break. Coming from behind to win it 7-3. And this is how he concluded the first set. A neck cord on the return, Boris. The feet so urgent. He's 4 weeks away from his 38th birthday. He could be playing in the age group events here.
And look what it means.
Perhaps even more important for him to win the first set than Rafa Nadal, Boris?
I'd say so. I think if Federer is standing a chance, he has to win the first set. The longer the match tracks on, the more it gets into a battle. I think the younger player benefits. And even winning the first set, I thought he kept his emotions in check. He wasn't over joyful. He wasn't celebrating with too much fanfare. He knows he needs every ounce of energy and concentration if he were to win the semi-final.
Your impressions of the first set, Tim?
Very, very tight. Only one break point. In the tie-break, it was Nadal who had those mini break opportunities, but Federer really upped his game. Great accurate serving, dominating with the forehand when he got the opportunity, and he'll be delighted to have got that first set under his belt. And I think the early stages of this second set are going to be absolutely vital for both players. It's Nadal that's going to need to regain the momentum, stamp his authority early. Federer will sense his opportunity to take a commanding lead.
Federer playing a 21st Wimbledon championship. We didn't ever imagine that it would last this long when he hit that forehand winner against Pete Sampras, you might remember, in the last 16 in 2001. That had been the culmination of a build-up. Everybody in the sport had known about this fantastic talent up until that point, but on a wider and on a global scale, this has been Federer's stage. He has won this championship 8 times. Only Martina Navratilova has won the singles championship more. The man in the dark glasses is Tony Godsick with the blue hat there. That's his dad, Robbie. Wife. You think a lot's happened since these two played on centre court. A lot's happened for Merker. She's become the mother to 4 children who are not here today. They might be in the background somewhere, but 2 twin girls and 2 twin boys. And your great rivalry, great rival, Stefan Edberg, up there. You've played 1 or 2 matches against him here. Have you caught up with him?
Yeah, we have. Yes, I saw him a couple of days ago supporting Roger on his 4th round match, and it was a lucky's charm. He stayed the week. The semi-final, yeah, one of the all-time greats.
Where's Rafa gone? Oh, there's Sir David Attenborough. He's been speaking a lot lately on climate change in a most authoritative voice and sympathy for the environment. And I think he'll probably approve of the sustainability program that the All England Club have put in this year. When rackets are delivered back to the court, you won't see them delivered in plastic bags anymore, and that's just one of many, many changes which have been implemented.
Now Roger is ready to return. Rafa took a bit of a break here. We see David Beckham, big fan of tennis and the championships.
You see his children play, don't they?
His son Romeo is an avid tennis player, big Nadal fan.
I wonder if he must have spoken to Sir Alex Ferguson, his former manager. I mean, I hope you'll remember the boot kicking incident. There he is.
Good to see him back healthy. He had a bit of a health scare last year.
Nadal gets the opportunity of serving first in the second set.
Second set.
Importantly, he keeps his nose in front. Federer will be looking for an early break.
It's quite a long break between the end of the first set and this very first point.
I'm not a massive fan of it. Are you, Boris? This
too long. It just interrupts the rhythm, the flow of things. I mean, it's all within the rules, but Nadal has done it every single time I saw him here, regardless whether he wins it or loses it.
We've talked about Nadal's improved backhand. Federer,
15 all.
one of the reasons why
It's when he can plant that right foot, when he can step into the court and drive the backhand. Good signs for the Federer camp.
Let's for service. Let's for service.
Yeah, it's a much better rhythm on the return now. He really gets to serve back well.
Nadal going into the Federer forehand on that serve in the juice box, and Federer's keeping a very short swing, and it's coming back with interest. Seemed like both players were surprised that serve wasn't called out.
First game, second set.
It's interesting you mentioned that about Roger Federer's return and the difficulty that Rafa has of being effective on his own serve at the moment against Tsonga. He lost just 10 points on serve. Query, he served superbly there. Nadal struggling on the second shot in this match like he hasn't in the others, so just small patterns developing here. Just one semi-final loss at the championships, that in 2016 to Raonic, who went ahead and did the right thing and lost to Murray in the final.
In the right play by Federer, he thought he had Nadal wrong-footed. Hit the Spaniard with the corner of his eye, saw that Federer was approaching, and whipped it past him.
What was that? That's what we want from the England team against New Zealand. Driving through that backhand half volley. Quite sure what this one was. It was amazing. Look at the adjustment. That takes, well,
Skill.
Yeah, he's just skillful.
Don't try this at home.
White hat and I think a lady with a straw hat, and they almost lost the bonnets as this ball whipped into the crowd. Pressure for Federer. 30 all.
Incredible athleticism from both players. Nadal does well to get that cross court. Federer covering at net. Couldn't resist the second passing shot.
Doesn't miss those. Break points saved.
But all together, play reaches more heights, the quality increases.
Second break point, and you may not be able to hear Federer's effort on each ball as he tries to resist these whipping Nadal forehands, but it's there. Federer is grunting on each of these balls.
Juice. Advantage Federer.
Federer eager to get on the front foot at every opportunity, but not easy to hit winners from behind the baseline.
Being stretched to the limit now, Federer. And even if Nadal doesn't get the break in this game, these rallies, these exchanges, these extended deuce ad contests, which are so compelling to watch, they wear you down. Well, that's the real bonus for Swiss.
Yeah, Nadal shows signs of frustration. He always turns around and in conversation with his corner. It's on the far end of the court.
That is a big hold.
One game more, second set.
Just a change of racket, Roger Federer, and you can hardly walk slower without actually standing still. He's taking a breather here, Federer, as Stefan Edberg looks on.
Huge game early in the second set there for Federer to hold, and he'll immediately want to try and put some pressure back on Nadal's serve.
Federer, lots of success with this.
Love fatigue.
Aggressive returns. We had a statistic in the first set. That's what he didn't do in the previous matches, but obviously he's done his homework. Playing each other so many times, you always find a new way.
Let's for service. All.
It's elegant, it's delicate, it's thoughtful.
And it's set up by the returner serve. A big first serve from Nadal, 122 miles an hour. Straight back at his feet. And with Nadal retreating, Federer plays the drop shot.
Oh, he's put it wide.
It's time to have a match.
Did he have you fooled here, Boris? Rafa?
14.
Very last moment, he changed direction too much on the wrist though. Further again with a couple of break points.
Having saved two against his own serve, as Tim was saying.
Nadal keeps going to that Federer forehand in the juice box, and Federer still returned that with interest, but Nadal did well to direct the forehand back behind. Still facing another break point.
That one must hurt. Second serve return on break point. You don't get that many chances like that. Make the ball.
Nadal.
And it's great hitting from both players. Amazing how aggressive Federer has been with the backhand going into Nadal's forehand.
And what a hold from break points down. Both players have saved break points in the last two games. Brilliant hour and a quarter here. The second semi-final here at Wimbledon. 2-1 Nadal second. Now, one of the things that Federer has taken out onto court as a tactic, and Nadal has to figure out here, Tim, is how do you stop Federer getting his forehand into play after his first serve? I mean, I don't know where Nadal maybe should stand somewhere different, but look here, backhand, he's only hit one backhand after his first serve. So Federer dominating and getting his forehand into play. I mean, we've been looking at Nadal's forehand, but how are you going to stop Roger hitting the shot he wants to hit?
Well, it's very difficult because first and foremost, with a serve like Federer's that is so accurate, has great disguise, you're just trying to get the ball back into play. Having said that, you can't just aim down the middle of the court and hope Federer's going to miss the next one, because his forehand is such a dominant shot. So I think Nadal is going to have to look at his court position, how aggressive he can be on the return of serve when he gets that chance.
Would love to be a fly on the wall when Lutti and Ljubicic spoken to Roger about the match strategy with Jude Law, about what he wants to do differently from previous matches, and very much is the return of serve and the fact that he should dictate play with his forehand, and that's exactly what he does. And I think that's the reason Nadal is in trouble here. Having said that, he kept on holding serves now, even though he was down break points. Important part of the match, especially for Roger.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Ready for play. Mr. Federer is challenging a call on the left far sideline. The ball's got out. Love 14. Mr. Federer has 2 challenges remaining. Let second service.
Second service. Nadal a good 20 feet behind the baseline for a second serve. Contact point was 3 meters behind the baseline for Nadal, who continues, particularly on this juice side, to give away the wide serve. Tim Henman has been talking about that. Break points in the previous 2 games.
2 forehand unforced errors from Federer. Strong point in the middle from Nadal. Suddenly 3 break points in a row.
Let's for service. Let's second service.
To break a serve in this match. The first break, first set decided on a tie-break, and it's gone to Rafa Nadal.
We've seen that a couple of times in the tournament. Federer just really played a sloppy game, and the game went very, very quickly.
Is some of that due to the fact that he had to work so hard to win his previous service games? He's getting tired?
I don't think he's getting tired, but just momentarily lost concentration.
He must look back and regretting not taking advantage of the break point he's had on the Nadal serve early in that set. Now it's to play catch up.
Suddenly, you know, we've gone from a very tight scenario early on in the second set. Nadal wins 10 points in a row. Now 3-1, 30 love.
30-15.
Taking his time, like always.
It's become quite one-sided, this second set.
Now leads by 4 games to 1. Second set.
Nadal holds, and he is strongly in command in all ways here. 4-1 and 21 played. Now this is an era-defining rivalry, this Nadal-Federer. Of course, Djokovic and Federer, Djokovic and Nadal both have actually played more Grand Slams, more actual matches. But this was the rivalry that came first. And just thinking back to some of the great sporting rivalries, this has to be up there with any of them, or any Ryder Cup match for me. The 1977 duel in the sun, Tom Watson at Turnberry, Jack Nicklaus. The Lakers and Celtics in the NBA. I don't know whether you follow that, Boris. I'm sure you do. Some of the great boxers over time. Watson, Ben and Eubanks here. Hagler, Hearns, Leonard Duran. McEnroe Borg wasn't bad. McEnroe anybody. I'd like to put him in the ring with Sugar Ray Leonard, to be quite honest with you. But what about your sporting rivalries?
I mean, I think you mentioned some very good ones. You could go down the football route of, you know, Man United, Liverpool, Man United, Man City. But for me, what's very special about tennis is that it is one against one, and you mentioned some boxing rivalries, but how often do they actually box? When you look at Novak and Rafa, they played 54 times. Novak and Federer, 47. This is Federer, Nadal, number 40. It's absolutely amazing, their longevity, their consistency. So Palmer-Nicholas player, that was a great rivalry in golf, but these are special times in our sport.
Boris, I want yours in a minute.
Federer doesn't want to waste too much energy here. One of the great golfers of all time.
9 majors. Career Grand Slam.
Gary player. He keeps on holding fast now. First time his serve volleyed up to the second serve. I thought he would do that a lot more actually coming into the match.
Even though he lost a point, I think it is a good tactic, Boris. We see where Nadal is returning from. Federer has plenty of time to get into good position at the net.
Let's for service.
Federer taking risks on the backhand, he must. Can't get involved into too many long rallies.
Federer's level just really dropped off in the last 10 minutes. Now a break point for Nadal to get the second break of serve.
And after what looked like a very contested early second set, came an easy one for Rafael Nadal, now up with a double break at 5-1, trying to level that match, set a piece. That was a stabber attack, translated sudden attack by Roger. Landed a couple of years ago, got a lot of criticism. Why not?
There's more than just a little element of save your energy for the battles ahead about the last couple of points.
Game, second set.
And that's the end of the second set. One set all in this second semi-final in the championships. We could have, well, I hope we do have, a long way to go. Junior matches taking place in the second week of the championships as the crowds dwindle. Over 40,000 people here each day the first week, somewhere around there. Record crowds, and the development of the ground. An absolute delight to see so many more facilities for everybody. A quick look at the second set here. First serves in at 65% for Rafa Nadal, down a little bit for Federer. And Nadal's serve becoming particularly effective at 10. But really, the battle was won maybe a third of the way through that set. In the men's doubles, Cabal and Federer are through to play Roger Vasselin and Nicolas Mahut, who has completed a career Grand Slam. These French doubles players are so interchangeable and their skills so transferable. Pierre Huguet playing with Andy Murray, losing to Mektic and Skugor. The men's doubles something to look forward to, as is the mixed as well, as we approach finals weekend. Serena Williams going for a record 24th Grand Slam title. Serena Williams versus Simona Halep at 1 p.m. UK time on Saturday, 1 p.m. on Sunday for the men's final. Novak Djokovic versus the winner of this match.
Time.
Rafael Nadal bidding to reach his 27th Grand Slam final. He has won 18 after 26 finals he's been in. Roger Federer has won 20. So these two have won more of the sport's major championships than any other. 2 Wimbledons for him.
Players are ready.
And 8 for the man serving at 1 set all, Roger Federer.
Federer has to regroup, to recapture the form at the end of that first set and even beginning of the second set.
30 love.
First couple of service games, key for him to regain that rhythm and establish himself in these rallies.
Love. First game,
now, obviously, Roger Federer is just held there. But Nadal's changes from set 1 to set 2, particularly on the return points, very interesting indeed. Tim, Boris, have a look at this. Average return hit points in set 1. First serve a little bit further back, second serve further in. Look what happens, not with the yellow line, but with the blue one in the second set. We noticed it in real life. Second set, second serve, way back, and he made every single return. That's a smart adjustment.
It is a smart adjustment. You see that distance, sort of 4¼ meters for the second serve return. You wonder, therefore, is Federer not been aware enough to maybe serve and volley a little bit behind the second serve because he's so far back? But again, these little minutiae of the match.
And they vary. You know, this is a long match. A lot of things are changing. Players watch each other, where they stand, what they do differently all the time.
And it's also why we don't want coaching, or most people, I think it's fair to say, do not want on-court coaching like on the women's tour. I think you're out there alone, noticing these changes and adjusting yourself without help. Severin Luthi, working with Federer for many years, great friend.
15-all.
One of the reasons the top three are so dominant is because of that, but one of the reasons the others can't catch up is because they don't have the on-court coaching. So the argument is made for both. I'm standing on the fence on that one.
Ivan Lubicic working with Roger Federer. He's beaten both of these guys. I bet you never beat Djokovic.
That's correct.
Never lost to him though, did you?
40-15.
Federer sticking to his routine by driving through the return. Nadal seemed to have adjusted.
Game Nadal. One game all, third sets.
Joe Fernandez on the right-hand side, married to Tony Godsick.
There's the agent of Roger.
15-love.
Even more so than in the first set, Roger's looking for quick points.
I should say Mary Jo Fernandez, former world-class tennis player, playing in the seniors event here. Almost picked off James Keothavong in the chair.
Now, if the ball would have bounced back into Roger's court, the ball would have counted.
What, off the umpire's chair?
Yeah, it just didn't. If the ball gets out and goes back, it counts.
Really?
In my book of rules.
Game Federer. Federer leads.
Well, we just have to investigate that,
yes.
Boris Becker. This is the Boris Becker Book of Tennis. Now, I've seen a lot of books of tennis, and there's been some very good ones, including your own, but you've got a new rule book. Now, if it hits the net post and goes in, I knew that that was a valid shot, but you say if it hits the...
It's part of the court. It's a fixture. It's there all the time.
So if you hit James Keothavong and it goes back into court, does that count? We can try that.
We have to check the rule book. How about that? Last time I checked, you know, my playing days, it did count. We had a lot of rule changes.
I'm sure you've had a good look around here, Boris. The changes are fantastic. Henman Hill, they've left the grass a little bit longer on the down slopes, which is very smart. It's less slippery.
Yeah, it's been the most popular spot if you don't have center court ticket. Feel good atmosphere. Everybody's enjoying the sunshine and the pimps are too.
There's a couple of bars down there. And people are enjoying themselves at the end of the week, Friday evening. This is the right thing to be doing. Just down to the left is where they put some of the beautiful planting to store before they plant. And both sides of the screen, that number 1 court, are a living wall, and it's just gorgeous. And I can't remember any of the names of the plants. Right, 1-2.
Love. Let's for service.
Nadal staying aggressive, close to the baseline. He knows if he doesn't hit the first shot, Federer will.
Turning defense into attack, stepping into that backhand and driving it down the line. Although Nadal wasn't at the net, Federer treated that shot like a passing shot.
Nadal's forehand down the line would have got the job done against most. He might have been expecting to see Roger Federer up at the net there. Federer had backed off and now has a break point after that cross-court forehand.
And break points early in the second set, wasn't able to take them.
Nadal to be out-dueled at the net.
Federer leads by 3.
It was actually Nadal that was keen to get to the net. Was not a good drop volley. Neither player able to get on top until that final volley.
Ladies and gentlemen, 15.
There was a lot of hype, a lot of comparisons with that match 11 years ago. I tell you what, we're getting there.
That was a 96-mile-an-hour forehand. The last one.
Love 13.
What a man of resilience Rafa Nadal is. The disappointment of losing his serve. He's just wiped that away and played 2 great points. Way back on the second serve again. He's going to get this ball in play. No, he's not. Oh, what a surprise.
Good second serve from Federer.
15-13.
Close to the sideline, swinging away. Looking to find the mark with the first serve here.
First double fault of the match.
That hurt.
An hour and 45 in.
It's only second. First of the match, 9th of the tournament, doesn't serve many. That smash was definitely a bit deeper than Federer had expected. Not always easy at this time of day with the sun coming into the stadium.
Well done, boys. Unbelievable. Gasps from the crowd as ball after ball dips in with topspin.
It's the timing, it's the footwork, it's the consistency, it's how close they hit to the lines. All at the most important moment of the match.
Thank you.
Just knocking in a quick 87.5-meter sprint there, Federer, a break point down. And still, the man from Mallorca pushes, probes and prods and annoys. Third break point of the game.
Let's for service.
Gonna need to make this court bigger if Nadal gets any further back.
Federer finds the first serve when he needs it.
Juice.
Talked about the 1-2 punch with the following forehand.
You looking for the serve volley here, Boris?
I'd like to. If I were him, I would do that.
what a message point that is for Nadal on the 25th shot
Advantage,
of the
Federer.
rally to miss a forehand. It's a Rafa sort of point.
A Rafa point won by Roger.
What a game to get out of. The miss on the second serve return when he had love 30 will disappoint Nadal, and so will the break points. Federer holds for 4-1.
Federer leads by 4-1. That sets 1-2.
I never got an answer about your great rivalries. My apologies.
No, I'm with Tim on that one, that this is an individual sport and team sport as much as I like the German-English rivalry in football, or I'm into the golf boxing similarities. You know, the great Muhammad Ali against anybody, the great Michael Jordan, yes, it's basketball, but the great Tiger Woods, those type of rivalries. But I think these two players transcends our sport. It's more than just a tennis rivalry. You spoke about sport rivalries, and these two players are arguably the most popular sportsmen.
Well, may I ask you, you were with Novak during some of his greatest triumphs. Did he feel unloved compared to these two?
Well, we had discussions about it, and obviously Novak has millions of fans himself, but then you're talking about two of the most popular sportsmen, not just tennis players, and it's a very difficult contest, and I think by now he doesn't care so much anymore. He knows who he is, but there was a time when it bothered him, yes.
Time.
But talking about this contact, it's becoming a very physical contact, and that's something Nadal strives for. So I'm not sure how much longer Federer can keep up this 25-30 shot rallies, but he does for the moment.
For me, it was interesting, the reaction of Federer when he won that game. You know, he doesn't show much emotion. He's pretty cool, calm and collected on the court, but there was a proper fist bump up to his box. He knew that value of holding serve, having got that break.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Love 15.
What a bizarre rally. Gives Federer love 30. And Nadal, such as the torque coming
Love
through
30.
his legs, he just lost his footing. Just got the ball over Nadal's head. Federer followed it in, and now here's a chance to close out this set. In effect, 2 breaks would be good enough for most.
It seems like Federer has Nadal on the run.
$15-30.
the joys of watching sport. You do not know what's going to go on. The amount of talk about this match, but who saw this momentum shift coming?
Well, it's almost a complete reverse of the second set. Nadal was able to get on top there and run away with it, 6-1. Federer with these breakpoint opportunities for the double break.
You talked about the message point, Andrew, early on when Roger won that long rally. I think that is bothering Nadal at the moment, that Roger wins the long rally, not the man as he's used to.
Two fabulous points from Nadal, and he will know that a hole here. And this set very much alive still. You think it's going to be easy for Federer to hold twice to win the set? I don't think so.
Nadal. Let's for service.
Tells you what you need to know about the competitive spirit about Nadal.
Federer leads by 4-2.
Now, having played himself into a winning position in this set, Federer has to serve at 4-2. He's just one break ahead. Very slim margin. Unlike Nadal down the other end. 25 seconds between points. Nadal just getting settled here. Keothavong in the chair. Mr. Keothavong, the umpire. Just keeping an eye on the time. It's another Rafa point won by Roger, isn't it? 19 shots this time.
And it's not easy with the ball coming in and out of the shade. Very bright in that southeast corner for Nadal.
We've seen it over and over again. Federer dictating the first shot of the rally with his forehand.
First
point of the game. Crucial. It has set the tone for the mini contest that continued. Straightforward so far, 40-love. what he's concerned about up there. He's got all the family up there. He's got his sister, his dad in the back with the blue cap, with the Rafa Academy hat on. Francisco Roig on the right-hand side. Agent Carlos Costa on the left. Dad. Relatively comfortable hold after the brutal first rally. Playing conditions have changed here, Tim, haven't they? On centre court, goodness knows you both have spent time out there, but at this time of the night, now that the roof profile is a little bit higher, you don't get quite so much sun stretching out quite so long, but it is bad in that particular corner. And that's where the players' box is. So we've seen a lovely selection of dark glasses over the years up there. Your wife Lucy and friends and relatives and family, Boris, all up there. And there's nothing they can do.
Yeah, and as a coach, it's a problem because obviously you want to see the match, and I like to watch my guy play without my sunglasses. I see better, but you can't. The sun is too low, and it really bothers you. And then obviously we don't complain about the good weather, right?
Yeah. But I was just going to say, you know, here we are at Wimbledon complaining that it's too sunny.
Nobody, it bothers the players as well from that side because the sun is very low, especially if you're left-handed serve. You toss up the ball and really stare in the sun.
Merker, good player herself, supporting Roger. And you know, I'm watching his movement for fatigue, for signs of tiredness. I think adrenaline is obviously playing a massive part. This is a huge match. Who knows how long either of these players have left after all the injuries that they've had.
Ladies and gentlemen.
At the age of, what, 33 and 37? How old is Rafa?
Yeah, 33.
33, yeah.
Yeah, the sun is very low into his eyes.
But just in the context of this match, the tournament so far, Nadal had 9 hours 23. Other way around, Federer 9 hours 23, Nadal 10 hours 45. For those 5 matches, that's not too much tennis.
Beautiful sunglasses. It starts bothering Nadal that Roger wins the longer rallies. You know, he's a proud man. He's the king of clay. Every rally that's longer than 5 is usually his to win. And for the last 15-20 minutes, Roger does the impossible.
He's playing aggressive and playing without mistakes.
Tony.
I think he's got one of Rafa's watches on. 30 in that game. He had break points in Rafa's previous service game. He hasn't taken them. Rafa's held. So now a real moment of truth after a little over 2 hours of play in this semi-final. You've got Rafa bouncing up and down, never an easy man to serve to. A chance to go 2-1 up, Federer. Oh, and it's hit the line and stopped. That's Rafa up.
15
Rafa.
Yeah, and that's what you want to do. Just thinking about that very next point. Nothing else matters.
Couple of timely first serves.
30 love.
Gives them a good platform, Federer, in an important game.
Delighted to see Nadal coming in on a chip that sat there, really.
But it was the forehand cross-court that did the damage.
Let's for service.
He holds to love. Under the greatest of pressure, his serve never challenged. On the penultimate service game, a long first point allowed him to hold, but there, lots of first serves. Brilliant play. And I don't think for a minute that Rafa Nadal is a man to run out of ideas, but he knows he's got to win the next 2 sets. It's as simple as that.
Certainly runs off the court. No, not yet. He's changing his shirt.
All those first serves in. I mean, he's talked about experience in the past, and it's easy from the outside, Tim, just to say, oh, he's a man of vast experience. It's always going to be something that's going to help him. And I guess most of the time it would. But he himself would like to play like an 18-year-old again, and just with that joie de vivre. And I understand what he's talking about.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, we reflect on these stats in the third set. Again, impressive serving from Federer, but impressive serving from both players with the percentage of first serve to points won. But the breakpoint opportunities is going to be key. We knew before this match who would create the chances, who would take them in that third set. It was Federer winning 1 breakpoint.
But you know what I mean about expressing himself on court?
Absolutely, and the reality is a lot of that is dictated by the opponent. In the first set, it was very much nip and tuck. There wasn't too much to show, but it was the second set where Nadal was really able to express himself because he got the lead early on, and it was a role reversal in the third. So I think fourth set of this match, it's who can really get the upper hand early.
A lot of people picking Rafa Nadal before this match, Boris Becker, because of the form he had coming in. Were you one of them, or?
Yeah, I was one of them. I thought Rafa looked in fine form, and I always felt that the longer the match went, the younger player would have an advantage, but little do we know. Roger, we talked about Relive playing like an 18-year-old. He moves like an 18-year-old. He's winning the long rallies. He's really pushing Nadal physically now, which very few men have ever done. Maybe besides Djokovic, nobody. So we're just watching this unfold. I think it's still a lot of tennis left.
The championships at the All England Club just today and the weekend to run, and I'm already beginning to miss it. So this time next week, so much of it will have been deconstructed and nobody will be here in the Centre court goes to sleep once again. It really does feel like a live thing during the championships.
Nadal to serve.
Now, this potentially is a great match at the moment. It's a very good one and totally compelling.
The pressure's on Nadal now, all of a sudden.
Love fatigue. All.
Moments when you want to take advantage of the momentum you have. Federer has the momentum right now. He's up to sets to 1. He's playing good tennis. He's got Nadal on the ropes right now. Done by the Spaniard.
30 all.
He needs to service game now. Just to steady the ship. It's one way of protecting your face from the sun.
I wonder who's under there. A second serve. Heavy. Kicking.
40-30.
They looked happier the last couple of matches. They look more relaxed. They know what's at stake.
Game, 4 sets.
Well, at 24 years of age, Nadal, of course, 33 now, but back then he was the youngest to complete the set of all 4 Grand Slam championships, the major sports, the major events in tennis. He won the US Open in 2010. Both of these blokes have won Olympic gold medals as well. Singles and doubles for Rafa Nadal, just doubles for Federer with Stan Wawrinka. Just having some troubles at the moment with his left foot.
I asked for a new one.
I think he called up during that last game to his box that maybe he needs new orthotics in his shoes. I think it was his trainer that's gone running off.
To Rafa Mimo, who goes and fetch some more shoes from the locker. Probably have about 15 pairs. All sorts of people in there. Look, there's Hugh Grant up there. He plays a bit of tennis. But Rod Laver, 2 times he had possession of all 4 major championships at the same time. Crazy. And a lot of years here when he was professional, but the game wasn't, so he couldn't even play. So any debate about the greatest should include Rocket Rod.
It's because Nadal's standing so far behind the baseline. Gives Federer a lot of time to volley this time. Doesn't even have to hit the best drop shot. Just a short one.
Has anyone actually checked Federer's passport? I mean, he's diving around like a young whippersnapper.
The footwork is incredible. And the ball would have hit anybody else's backhand. He was so fast over there to hit that forehand.
And with his grip to get underneath, find the angle.
It's just lovely. From both players, absolutely majestic.
1 game more.
It seems that so few of the points end in unforced errors. There are so many winners being struck by both players, emphasizing the quality of the tennis.
And you think of Tsitsipas and Zverev and Shanov and others who try to break into this, and others who have failed in the past.
Good luck. We did a lot of reflecting on the 2008 final, and I would say one shot that is so much better for Federer is the backhand. New racket, bigger head, but wow, is he aggressive today.
Set it Putting a lot of pressure on Nadal now.
30.
It's one of Nadal's more aggressive second serves, 101 miles an hour, but Federer taking it early, driving the backhand, rushing Nadal into the error.
Well, he knows he wants to get it done in 4. He doesn't want to go in 5. Counts.
15-30.
Are we going to be looking back at this? Shot in a couple of minutes, a couple of games, or a couple of sets?
We'll find out.
Sorry, but not that sorry.
Not a cleanly struck forehand from Nadal. It allowed Federer to get his feet into position. Plenty of time. Skip, skip. Bang.
But the damage was again done by the backhand cross court, opening up the court.
Look at this, Boris. It's a drama every time he hits a forehand. Both of them. Oh, how'd you do that? The return was exactly as Federer would have wanted. Firm to the backhand. It backed Nadal up. He just crunches another winner to save a break point. Here's another.
Let's for service.
Challenge.
Mr. Federer is challenging the call on the right near sideline. The ball scored in.
He wants to see a second serve.
Certainly does.
For service. Mr. Federer has 2 challenges remaining.
The devil lies in the detail.
Faults. Mr. Nadal is challenging the call on the right near sideline. The ball's got out.
I like it.
Well, umpires are meant to only overrule on a clear mistake. Well done,
Second
James
service.
Kyothevon. Not just the players on their game.
Nadal looks down, but he knows that ball was good. What a return. What a moment. It's a break. And the scoreboard has a delightful symmetry for Federer fans. 2 sets to 1, 2 games to 1.
Mr. Nadal has
He's
2
closing in on a
challenges.
famous victory. Long way to go. Coming out of this backhand has been great tactic from Federer. And his backhand, Boris, fair to say that it has improved because of the mauling that Nadal gave it so many times. You thought, how is Roger ever going to resist
I think it
the
was a
Rafa
real,
forehand?
very much so. It was a real weakness early in his career. You know, he had the backhand slice and he could hit over, but ultimately Nadal had the opening there. But he worked on his game. He watched tape, he did strategy with his coach Severin Little, and ultimately realized that the only way for me to have a chance is to go over the backhand, hit hard, step into the court, hit the ball early. Now that's also easy talking about it.
Had some great matches at Wimbledon this year. Coco Gauff has been a big story, of course. She went out to Polona Hertog. It was a captivating match. I thought Dan Evans and Sousa was wonderful to watch. Some of the matches, perhaps not on the show courts, have been equally captivating, but this may yet build into a fifth set, but it's going to be up to Rafa Nadal to change things.
Let's second service.
Baseline exchanges that have been won by Federer.
Nadal is seriously engaged with his box. Over and over again, Federer wins the rallies.
Love. Game Federer.
He's got the ball and his opponent on a string at the moment.
Federer leads by 3-1.
Having lost that second set 6-1, the momentum was entirely with the great Spaniard. Federer came back. Remember that long 25-stroke rally? It was 6-3. Now 3-1, and this is a free game for Roger Federer. He can go for this. He already has the break.
It's a free game for Federer, but a must-win game for Nadal.
Tell you what, I expect Nadal to rise again.
Yeah.
Push Federer more than he has. Spaniard is a champion. Has a history of coming back.
Love.
Second serve.
40-15.
Did a curious on that one.
That was another great match, actually, in its way, wasn't it? Really entertaining stuff. Nadal beating the Australian, who has shown him so much disrespect in his own view.
That was only last week. Seems like a month ago.
Been busy, Boris. That's it. And that's the game.
Federer leads by 3-2. Offset.
One thing that has changed in the 11 years since their great match in 2008, I think, is the level of personal respect and also personal knowledge between these two. Obviously, their place in the history of the game is obvious. They're right at the top, both of them, and always will be. In terms of matches won at Wimbledon, Federer 100 matches by beating Nishikori. He also leads at the Australian Open, where he's won 97 matches. Rafael Nadal at the French Open, 93 matches. And Jimmy Connors at the US Open, the last of the majors. He's won 98. So in terms of the record books, we can just go on and on. But what a message this will be from Roger Federer if he has a crack at Novak on Sunday. What a triumph it would be for a man who's 38 next month. And in fact, these two, Tim, have won more matches than anybody else on tour this year. 37 matches each. Speaks volume for the work they do off the court.
Federer shaking his legs a little bit, serving with new balls.
Thank you. Ready for play. Love.
Second serve. How often do you see Nadal looking as negative as that? I mean, I know that's not much, but irritated.
Time is able to hit it back quite long and taking a chance on that backhand, hitting the line.
This time it's Nadal who prevails. 26 shots.
Federer's only made one first serve in this game, and Nadal knows when he gets a look at the second serve, he's got to do a better job of winning those points.
40-30.
Federer's body language really hasn't changed since the first point of the match. Or was it an even keel?
He's another step closer to a Wimbledon final.
Federer leads by 4-2, fourth set.
Federer seeded at number 2 despite being at world number 3. Nadal seeded 3 despite being world number 2. Irritating for Nadal before the tournament. He was happy to share that. Wimbledon, in terms of seeding, a formula that they use that takes into account grass court form rather than just going straight off the ranking. Federer is the best ever on this surface.
Having said that, he lost last year in the quarters to Anderson, where Nadal reached the semi-final, losing in 5 to Djokovic.
That's amazing. He hit that so hard. The ball seemed to be too low to do this. The only way that could be in, given all of the physics involved, is to hit the outside edge. So he did.
I can say that things are going his way.
Timely first serve there from Nadal.
40-30.
Teetering on the brink in this fourth set.
He keeps holding on. Wants to keep asking Roger the ultimate question.
Let's for service. Federer leads by 4-3, fourth set, by 2-1.
Talk about the ultimate competitor, and you can pick any of them really. At the top of the game, Novak Djokovic, who awaits in Sunday's final, having beaten Bautista Agut. Fantastic Spanish effort to get two men into the semi-finals of the championships. But either Rafa or Roger, there's nothing to choose between the way they compete. The spirit of the two guys is so strong on the court. Dominant personalities, both of them. He's qualified for the ATP finals already, which take place in November at the O2. That's a 15th year for him, so more tennis in this city later on this year. Not overly happy that it's not played on clay once in a while, played indoors. 2 more years in London.
Having that said, that he has a history of injuries, usually at the end of the year he takes a week or 2 even more off. His main focus will always be this time of the year, winning the French and then doing well here.
He's trying to match Bjorn Borg
Thank you.
in winning the French Wimbledon double for a 3rd time, Nadal.
First one with an error.
15 love.
And when you're trying to break back and you're trying to make any breaker serve, the first point is so important, and a couple of times it's Nadal that's made those mistakes. It just gives Federer that platform to build from. What did you say about going his way?
30 love.
He smelled the corner, he anticipated. But one thing Nadal will always do, fight until the end. It doesn't matter the scoreline, it doesn't matter the opponent.
The accuracy.
40-15.
Of that serve from Federer is just phenomenal. Time and time again, finding the centre service line.
Federer leads by 5 games to 3. 5th set.
Boris, you're impressed by Roger's body language.
Unbelievable. I haven't seen him focus like this in a long time. Maybe the last time he won a major.
It was 18 months ago. Australian Open.
In 5 sets against this man.
Let's for service.
That might be the only time when Nadal turns it in. He said, if that goes in, I'm off.
Not taking any prisoners today.
If Federer had a kitchen sink right now, he would be throwing that as well.
Correction. 30.
And Federer's doing the right thing by aiding James Keothavong there. He's walking. He knows full well that that missed call did not affect in any way his return. Just move on.
Thank you.
Unusual looking backhand from Rafa Nadal there, stretched.
It's almost the one-handed topspin backhand from Nadal.
Seeing the way Rogers hit his, and maybe fancies a one-hander. Oh, did he need to play that?
40-30.
Now he's copying the one-handed topspin backhand. He thought I might as well start serving and volleying.
First time in the match.
Expect the unexpected.
I mean, it's fabulous.
And again, no emotion, nothing overwhelming. Keeps it all together.
Mr. Federer is challenged on the service line. The ball's caught in.
It's funny, because if he's wrong, but he's smiling with Rafa, it was actually a perfect return.
Oh, wow. And if he hadn't challenged, it'd be match point.
I know. Oh.
Mr. Federer has one challenge remaining.
Boy, hopefully it's not going to haunt
Thank you.
the great Swiss.
Please.
That's a first.
Would have, it could have, it should have. Andrew.
I think Federer should have just lost that point, so that psychologically he said, look, I wouldn't have won the game anyway. Amazing. Back to deuce. Still 2 points from victory.
Does have a match point. Another early strike off the Nadal serve. And this 40th meeting between these two great champions. Well, there may be 1 point to play. No. Got a whole set and a half to go from here. That match point was at 7:29, just in case we have to come back to it.
Advantage.
Another ace. Rafa. Game point. In the last match here 11 years ago, there was a match point in the fourth set as well. It went to 5. Just saying.
Let's for service.
That weakness is looking mighty strong. His backhand has been phenomenal today, Federer.
It's well handled from Federer. The ball hit the line and stopped. He was able to just half check on the backhand, got it back into play. It's a second match point.
Defended again.
Juice.
Nadal simply unleashed a backhand to get the opportunity to move forward
Nadal.
on the forehand. And that's as much to Roger Federer as it is to his camp. Two match points saved. Nadal holds. Federer will serve for it.
Federer leads Rafa against the ball. 4 sets. About 2 sets to 1.
This is very unfortunate for Nadal, who's undoing the taping. We thought that he might have a problem with his shoes, maybe some orthotics. He's probably got 6 or 7 pairs on rotation. Ugh. Tennis players' feet are really not as beautiful as the game they play.
And he plays without tape now, which is unusual. He has a lot of injury problems in the past. Players want to tape their ankle just for a double protection. He takes it off.
And also, it's going to take a little bit of time, and Nadal's not exactly quick between games, and Federer's coming out to serve. 5-4, 4th set. And Nadal is still putting his shoes on.
It's the moment of truth, serving for the match.
Well, to his credit, Nadal's not taking a medical or anything. I've seen plenty of players do so in situations that don't need it.
Conversation with the umpire, though.
All right, here we go.
Drama is unfolding in front of our eyes.
Nadal still fiddling with his laces there. Federer's backed off. He's come up to the baseline. He's looked away. And if Federer is a little bit cross with that, you wouldn't know it.
Mr. Nadal has challenged the ball on the left near sideline. The ball's scored in.
Everyone's pretty tight right now. Ooh.
15 love. Mr. Nadal has one challenge remaining.
Still a long way to go.
Incredible hitting. At this stage of the match,
30-15.
to maintain the timing on those virtual half volleys. Incredible.
Long.
Mr. Federer is challenging the ball on the left baseline. The ball scored out.
Yep.
30 all. Mr. Federer has no more challenges remaining.
Oh. No challenges remaining.
Thank you. Let's for service.
I've seen him miss an overhead this decade. But it was the forehand that should have gone away. That one just got low, popped over the baseline.
Thank you.
Nadal made him play a tough ball.
Players are ready. Thank you.
Time and again, as the rallies have extended, even in the most precious and difficult moments, it's Federer that's come out on top. 11 shots, and Nadal cannot believe it.
The first volley was beautifully executed. The second, sublime.
And Roger stays calm.
Federer.
No emotions. Walks away now.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
That's called tunnel vision.
Thank you.
his forehand. He's just a force of nature, isn't he, Nadal? Look at this. Whack. That was on number 24.
Juice.
Oh, don't worry about that clock. Give him a bit of time to rest. 3 hours of
Please.
wonderful sport. Another match point gone.
Behaves like the last rally didn't happen.
The ball scored in.
Well, if Nadal is wrong on this, he'll be out of challenges, but he'll soon be out of time as well, so he won't need them.
Advantage Federer. Mr. Nadal has no
Second
more
championship
challenges
point on
remaining.
his own serve. Federer had a couple on Nadal's serve.
Thank you.
Goodness.
Talk about bringing out the best in each other.
Just when we thought it doesn't get any better, they're lifting each other's spirits.
Quiet, please.
Federer's gone up the tee with the last couple of first serves.
It was a miss-hit return. Once again, Federer's footwork magnificent. Can Nadal find the answer again? No.
A little early.
What a contest. Roger Federer, 37 years of age. He's into his 12th Wimbledon final. Unbelievable, says David Becker, and quite right, it is unbelievable to watch them together. The patterns of play are so beautiful to the eye. And these two magnificent champions. And even now, Rafa has time to sign autographs. This is not uncommon. It's not for the cameras. This is just who he is. And that's another reason why the sport has been so lucky to have them both. Now, Rafa Nadal has just won his 12th French Open. So it's difficult to feel terribly sorry for either of these celebrated and endorsed athletes. But a tough match to lose, but a glorious contest. So, Boris, you enjoy that?
Very much so. Federer walking off, he's still shaking his head, sort of smiling with himself. He can't believe how he played. It's the best I've seen him in a long time. And you know, the other day, Rafa said he didn't lose the match. The opponent won it. And I think that's what Roger did today.